All right, let's dive straight into it. What if I told you that Noah's Ark has been found? But here's the twist. It's not where you'd think, and it's surrounded by evidence that's been hiding in plain sight. This isn't just about a boat, it's about a discovery that could shake up everything we think we know about history, science, and faith. Why hasn't this been shouted from the rooftops? Why isn't it in every textbook? What if the location has been dismissed or even hushed because the implications are just that big? Could it be that revealing this truth might challenge everything we thought we knew about history, science, and belief? Stay tuned, because by the end of this episode, you'll be connecting the dots yourself. And trust me, you might just find your jaw on the floor. Let's rewind for a second. The Bible, Genesis 8:4, says this, "And the ark rested upon the mountains of Ararat." Notice that, upon the mountains, plural. Not just Mount Ararat, but an entire range. So why have so many people focused on just one towering peak? Now let's talk about that region. These mountains of Ararat are part of what was once the ancient kingdom of Urartu, a civilization thriving over 3,000 years ago. Imagine a landscape of rugged peaks, rolling valleys, and deep history. This is where the story takes us, not just to a single mountain, but to a range steeped in both myth and evidence. Here's the kicker. Mount Ararat itself, as majestic as it is, might not even make sense as the Ark's landing site. At over 16,800 feet, it's an icy, desolate giant. How would anyone or anything safely disembark there? And what about the floodwaters? As they receded, turbulent waters would have made this a downright dangerous place for a ship to rest. But lower down, among the surrounding mountains, we find something very different. Accessible terrain, practical elevations, and, spoiler alert, some truly mind-blowing clues. This region isn't just mountains and valleys, it's a treasure chest of legends, stories, and mysterious artifacts. For centuries, locals have whispered about the Ark's resting place, weaving its tale into the very fabric of their land. You'll find traces of this in the names of villages, valleys, and even landmarks, as though the story of Noah and the Ark has been etched into the geography itself. Take, for example, the Valley of the Eight. The name feels like a direct nod to the 8 survivors of the flood: Noah, his wife, their 3 sons, and their wives. This valley, located near the Darupanar site, seems to anchor the biblical narrative to this very region, connecting the ancient story to the terrain we see today. And then there's Karga Kanmaz, meaning the crow or bird won't land. The name itself stirs curiosity. Could it have symbolic ties to the biblical account of the raven released by Noah, the one that never returned to the ark? Did the raven's wandering nature inspire this name? But the intrigue doesn't end there. Just a bit farther out, we find something truly fascinating. Massive stones, known as drogue stones, scattered across the landscape. These weren't just ordinary rocks. They were ancient sea anchors, designed to stabilize large ships during rough waters. Now here's where it gets even more intriguing. Each of these stones has a hole carefully carved near the top. This is where ropes would have been threaded through to attach them to the ship. Think about the craftsmanship required to create something like this, especially for a vessel as massive as the Ark. And here's the kicker. They're found hundreds of miles from the nearest ocean. What could these massive sea anchors possibly be doing so far inland? And it doesn't stop there. Etched into some of these stones are 8 crosses. 8! They're said to represent Noah, his wife, their 3 sons, and their wives, the exact 8 survivors described in the biblical account. It's as if these stones themselves are revealing an ancient truth, one that's been waiting for thousands of years to be uncovered. But the significance of this region isn't just in the names or the artifacts. For centuries, pilgrims have traveled here, drawn by the belief that this is the sacred resting place of Noah's Ark. These journeys often carried deep spiritual meaning, as visitors sought to connect with the ancient story and its message of faith, resilience, and renewal. These names, legends, artifacts, and even the footsteps of countless pilgrims feel like whispers from the past, clues woven into the very landscape itself. It's as though this region has been holding on to the Ark's story, waiting for someone to listen and uncover its secrets. Fast forward to 1959. An aerial survey in eastern Turkey spots something unusual, a boat-shaped formation in the middle of the Durupanar Mountains. Measuring 515 feet, it perfectly matches the biblical description of the Ark when converted into ancient Egyptian cubits. This wasn't just a lucky guess, it was like finding a puzzle piece that fits perfectly. And then came the deep dives. Researchers found what looked like a wooden rib structure, yes, like the ribs of a ship, embedded within the formation. Metal rivets, consistent with ancient shipbuilding techniques, were discovered, along with soil samples showing high levels of organic material, evidence of wood decomposition. But wait, there's more. Nearby, archaeologists uncovered what they believe were dwellings, an altar, and even rumors of a gravesite. Some say this could have been Noah's home or the place where sacrifices were made after the floodwaters receded. Imagine standing in the very spot where Noah and his family may have rebuilt their lives. In 1987, the Turkish government made it official. They declared the Durupinar site the resting place of Noah's Ark, opening a national park and a visitor center to tell the story. It wasn't a random decision, it was based on decades of evidence from measurements to artifacts to the Ark's unique boat-like shape. And this brings us to one of the most fascinating parts of the story, the role of Ron Wyatt. Wyatt was a researcher and explorer who dedicated much of his life to biblical archaeology. After extensive studies and personal expeditions, he was among the first to accept the Durupinar site as the resting place of Noah's Ark. His research uncovered measurements consistent with the Ark's description in the Bible, patterns of what appeared to be a wooden rib structure, and even rivets that hinted at ancient craftsmanship. Wyatt's findings, while met with skepticism at the time, laid the groundwork for many who came after him to take a closer look at this mysterious formation. Without his persistence in studying and publicly revealing the site, it might have remained just another unexplored anomaly in the mountains of Ararat. Today, Wyatt's contributions are seen as pivotal in bringing global attention to the Durupinar site and the possibility that it could truly be Noah's Ark. Now let's connect the dots, because there are a lot of them. First, the size. The formation is 515 feet long, matching the Bible's description when calculated in ancient Egyptian royal cubits. That's not a guess, it's precise. Second, the shape. It's boat-like, with a pointed bow and rounded stern, nestled perfectly in the mountain range. Third, the structure. Wooden ribs, metal rivets, and soil rich in organic material, all signs of an ancient vessel. Fourth, the artifacts. Those drogue stones with 8 crosses. And let's not forget the nearby dwellings and altar, which could align with the Bible's account of Noah's family offering sacrifices after the flood. And then there's the local history. Names of villages and landmarks seem to weave the Ark's story into the very fabric of the land. Even the name Village of the Eight feels like a direct nod to the Ark's survivors. This isn't just a single clue, it's a constellation of evidence, and when you put it all together, it points to one place, the Durupinar site. So, what does this mean for us today? If this is truly Noah's Ark, it's a bridge between history, faith, and science. It's a story of survival, of starting over, and of the incredible human spirit. But here's the big question for you. Do you think this could really be the Ark's resting place? Could this site in the mountains of Ararat hold the key to one of the most enduring mysteries of all time? The Durupinar site isn't just a story about a ship. It's a story about us, about our curiosity, our perseverance, and our endless search for truth. Thank you for joining me on this incredible journey. If this episode made you think, sparked your curiosity, or left you in awe, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps keep these conversations alive and thriving. Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning, and keep exploring. Who knows what other mysteries are waiting to be uncovered? Thanks for watching.